Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Sales Growth Club TV show. Okay, so this week we're still talking about sales in your business strategy, but we're going to move on from sales and marketing alignment over the last several weeks, which brought out quite a few conversations.
Really did, yeah.
But this week, this month, we're going to focus on customer feedback.
Yeah.
So this week, let's give an overview about customer feedback.
Yeah.
Why use it? Why get customer feedback?
Well, I mean, we go to all the bother of finding customers, right? So let's find out how well we're doing. Let's find out what's going well, what we could do differently. Let's talk to them. Let's keep them engaged. I mean, ultimately, the business and the chance to sell more to people or keep a client longer only comes if you've got a dialogue. So feedback is the great way to have a two-way dialogue with your client.
Okay, does it? We're going to break this down in the weeks to come, but let's just quickly talk about the mindset of that. I know some people will be fearful of getting feedback. Some people will be happy getting feedback.
Yeah.
You know, there's people on the edge of whether feedback will actually work for the business.
Well, so I struggle a bit with why people would be fearful of feedback. I mean, the image that comes to my head immediately is the ostrich with the head in the sand.
Okay.
Because it's almost like, I don't want to hear. It's almost like you're predisposed that you're either, your service is not right, your product's not right, what you're offering isn't adding the value you promised it would add. So I think there's an issue there if feedback is something that you are proactively avoiding. So for me, it isn't a fear. It should be more of a desire. It should be more of something you covet as a business person. Is that opportunity to just get the voice of your customer into your business and every decision you make. I mean, that's never to say that all of your decisions should go down the path of doing everything your customers want, but you should certainly be testing as often as you can that you're delivering on the promises that you've made.
Okay. So what can it do for your business?
Well, so there's a lot of data out there about how more likely a client is to buy something else from you if you check in with them along the life cycle. So very, very bluntly, there is a higher probability a customer will buy something more from you if you are talking to them.
Yeah.
So in essence, that's the point of customer feedback. Now, we'll talk about this in a future TV show, but if you are talking to your clients, there are many ways that you can get them to talk to you that other people can see it, right? In forms of testimonials, referrals. That then helps you create brand awareness, awareness of the value and offers and services you add, and ultimately gives you the opportunity to win more business. So I think, again, customer feedback is totally embedded in your business strategy about making more sales.
Okay, because we've talked about business strategy a lot, haven't we? And really, customer feedback should clearly come into it, doesn't it? So let us know, do you do customer feedback? If you do, how do you do customer feedback? Actually, what have been the results so far from your customer feedback?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about good or bad, if you're good or bad, but I mean, has it helped you with your sales process, getting the customer feedback? I think that'd be good if we can get that knowledge from the people watching this video, and then we can cover that in later videos.
It's a good idea.
So are you getting customer feedback, and has it helped your sales process? What is it doing for your business?
Yeah.
Because also there are some errors with the way that people use it, isn't there? There are people who get it and just don't use it correctly.
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things you could do, right? So, and I think if we go down two paths on incorrectly, I mean, the first one is you get it and you ignore it. Okay, and I think, and that's not. And when I talk about ignore it, you don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
So acknowledging the feedback is a really important thing to do, good or bad, right? So acknowledge it will be the first place it can go wrong. You don't acknowledge it. The second place is you do nothing with it, and therefore you just repeat the problem, or the bad service, or you miss whatever it is that people come back with.
I suppose asking for feedback as well is a way of letting your customers cry for a bit more help.
Well,
in some ways.
So I think you're right, and people want to talk, right? People want to talk, and your business relationships are normally on some kind of personal level. I mean, there aren't many times I do a piece of business where I haven't understood the problem I'm solving. And then to understand the problem I'm solving, that normally has meant there's been some form of relationship formed earlier on. So it's kind of weird to then not talk. It's kind of weird to then not say, how am I doing? And so your clients almost will be expecting you to ask for feedback, and they will be wanting to give you it. Yeah. So there are dangers, and the dangers are not asking for it, not doing something with it.
Because you also have to systemize it, don't you? You can't just say to your customer one day, hey, how's it going? You really need to systemize it to make sure you're asking the right questions to develop your product and what they get from it.
Well, you've got to think about it, right? Because sometimes you would get a feedback form and you wouldn't just see any relevance to products or services you bought, and you kind of go, well, this is so there's no value in this, and you just push it aside. But if the questions are really thought through and they're very specific and they're very personal even, then the richness that you get back is magnified. I think the other side around that is I've heard of people, and I'm not sure what folks do here, but I've heard of people ask for feedback after every single order. I've heard people ask for feedback almost after the whole of the process has been fulfilled. So the regularity of feedback and the appropriateness of that is important to work out as well.
Yeah.
Because being asked too often can become intrusive. Not being asked enough can be a problem. So automating it where it comes in the process, the questions and the thought behind the questions, it's really important.
So I'll be interested to know, people watching this, how often do you ask for feedback as well? So do you have customer feedback? How has that helped your business, the sales? And how often do you ask? Let's answer those questions and see what people are currently doing. I think it will help everyone understand what people do really with customer feedback.
And don't be scared by customer feedback. And what do I mean by, so you may have heard me talk in sort of corporate world, in big business world, there's things called customer satisfaction index. How happy were you with that transaction and elements of that transaction? And there's another one called NPS, which is Net Promoter Score. How likely are you to recommend somebody? Let's just bring that straight down to the level of small business owners, and it's in exactly that. Are you delivering value? Are you delivering what you promised? And would you recommend me to somebody else? Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it very simple, but very, very relevant.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's all we're going to cover in this video today. Obviously, Steve's going to be talking about this throughout the group in the week. So if you've got any questions, do drop them in the group, and Steve will be around to answer them. But from us to here, thank you so much for watching. We will be back next week, and we're going to break it down even further, and we're going to go into the frustrations that people have when trying to ask for customer feedback. But from us to here, thank you so much, and have a great week, everyone.